What happens when the person you promised to spend your life with suddenly changes the rules of your love? For 4 years, everything seemed perfect. I loved him, I respected him, and we were planning a future together. He proposed a year and a half ago. I said yes, without hesitation. I thought we were building a life. But then something shifted. It started with a story about one of his friends. His friend had slept with 100 women before getting engaged. For some reason, that thought completely broke my fiancé's psyche. Suddenly, he wasn't satisfied with just us. He wanted an open relationship. I was disgusted. The very idea felt like a betrayal. But he threw a massive meltdown until I finally agreed. So I started going out. At first, I was incredibly nervous. I had only ever been with 2 men. But as the nerves faded, I realized something. Without the pressure of a relationship, I was actually quite good at this. Over the next year, I met many people. By the time the tension peaked, I had been with 42 men. I enjoyed the freedom, but I was ready to stop. I wanted my normal life back. But my fiancé? He wasn't handling it well. His own experiences on dating apps had been terrible. When we finally sat down to talk about where we were, the explosion happened. He found out my number. He couldn't believe it. He kept screaming, 20 times the number I have? I suggested we just stop the open relationship entirely. I wanted us to be monogamous again. But he said no. He wasn't ready to stop. Instead, he wanted to impose insane, controlling rules. He wanted me to take a break until he reached a certain number of partners. Then I could go out only after he hit his next milestone. He wanted me to keep a log. He wanted to turn our intimacy into a competition of achievements. I realized then, this wasn't about freedom. This was about his ego and his need to control me. I wanted a house, a dog, and kids. I didn't want a life where we compared numbers like athletes. The internet was brutal. People flooded my inbox, calling me names, judging my lifestyle. But the real nightmare was happening at home. My fiancé spent hours hurling gendered slurs at me. He called me every name in the book. I just sat there and took it, feeling my respect for him die. The next morning, I knew I couldn't do this anymore. I called in sick and went to his house. When I arrived, his ego was on full display. He told me he might not even be ready to accept my apology. I didn't apologize. I looked him in the eye and said, "It's over between us." He was stunned. After all his shouting, he never expected me to be the one to walk away. Then, things turned scary. He tried to block my exit. He tried to grab my arm to keep me there. I threatened to call the police. He finally let go, but as I drove away, he started punching my car window. I drove home in terror, blocking his dozens of desperate, angry calls and texts. I had the engagement ring in my pocket. I wanted to give it back, but I was too afraid to see him. In the end, I mailed the ring back. I chose my safety and my sanity over a broken promise.
It took time.
Therapy and starting over were hard, but they were necessary. Sometimes, the hardest part of loving someone is realizing that you have to leave them to save yourself. If you ever feel like your boundaries are being used as weapons, trust your gut. Like and subscribe for more stories.